Air India announced a mega deal to buy 250 Airbus aircraft to expand their fleet.
Single largest order signed by any airline ever globally, 470 jets across Airbus and Boeing, 250 for Airbus and 220 orders for Boeing aircraft.
The largest ever deal in the global aviation industry.
This is the most wholesome aircraft order that's come from India, right? I mean, it's the biggest order in volume in the world. It's the biggest order for Airbus from India, I think, in terms of wide bodies. Is it the single biggest 320 Neo order from India? The first A350 order, 737 MAX order, and I also think it's the first 777X order from India. It opens up a lot of opportunities. I mean, there are several sides to it. One that has been written about quite a bit is the geopolitical side, but I think Arindam and I are more sort of, it would be more interesting if we talked about the aviation side of it and what it sort of means for Air India rather than what went behind the scenes that led to this order. For Air India, I think it broadly means two things. One is a much needed fill up of the product because new planes means a spanking new product, and that is so critical for Air India. That is probably the most critical thing for Air India for brand building. Of course, another which is very related to the brand and operations is the network and what it makes of the network and sort of what it, especially the international network. Now, literally, as the planes start coming, they're spoiled for choice as to where to go, etc.
We call it gigantic, of course, is the world's largest. So, not that, but India has seen large aircraft order before. Indigo started that trend with 100 aircraft when they started business in 2006. They followed it up latest by 300 aircraft order. So we have seen orders of large magnitude from India. But what differs here is that the very type of aircraft that Air India has opted for in this deal. So Air India has been under the government for all those years, and like it has lost out because in government, of course, the decision making is very slow. 2006 was the last aircraft order that Air India placed, and this is the first time after that Air India placing a new aircraft order. The significance of this is that this order, when it's delivered in full, will completely change the fleet of the airlines. It's a full 360-degree fleet replacement order. Tata Sons has no dearth of talent, right? From the day one that they took over the airline, they have parachuted executives from across its group firms, be it for simple things like catering, to software development, to anything. So it has TCS, it has Indian Hospitality, it has the best of the best finance minds sitting in Bombay House. So it was a core group of finance executives for whom probably that was the first aircraft deal they were doing in their life, but were hardcore investment banking professionals like Air India's Chief Commercial Officer Nipun Agarwal. He himself led the deal where Tata Steel took over Bhushan Steel in the insolvency process. They hired Naman Jain from Indigo Aircraft Acquisition, who has been a part of this deal. So if you see the team, like it's a group of people with high financial pedigree who knows how to broker this tricky water of deal making.
And I think Airbus and Boeing would have been very impressed with the kind of negotiations. You know, I read that it all happened in St. James Court, that Victorian hotel of the Tatas, and there was
right.
management.
So London was the site of the negotiation. Campbell said in his mail to the employee, the CEO Campbell Wilson, so it was a very, very tricky affair to jostle between two major aircraft manufacturers and six engine makers, and also maintaining existing Tata relationships with both Boeing and Airbus and the likes of GE, like that the deal has been pulled through and without any controversy. Like it's a major thing. Financing such a big part of big order is always, the world will look up to that. I'm sure the lessors and banks across the world are already up for negotiation. So what also differs here is that it's a group, it's an airline backed by a very cash-rich group, and which is not
Mm.
shying away to put its muscle power, financial power behind the airline.
Right,
We have
right.
Go Fast from the Wadia Group, but we haven't seen much patronage from the parent firm. But here it's a different story. So the cost of capital of for Air India in this aircraft financing will be much lower, and if exercised properly, like I think can even surpass Indigo's, which is the standard in the industry. Like if we take the and Anirban, you wrote about that Air India raising money, they're getting it at an interest almost equal to the sovereign due to the credit worthiness of the
Right.
Tatas.
Also the fact that it's getting the first one in late 2023 obviously means that it's toppled a few and got to the end. I mean, got to the ahead of the line in terms of delivery. I mean,
Actually, the geopolitics comes into picture here, like
mm,
because of sanctions on Russia and China sanctioning
correct.
Boeing, that's
Mm,
how they get the aircraft faster. So
correct.
2023 and that played a lot of part in Boeing winning the order. Boeing committed
Correct.
to immediate delivery of 50 aircraft, though those were destined for Air China, and there are no the business relationship between US and China has become frosty. So we can expect
Mm,
that in any time near soon, Chinese airlines will not use the 77 Max. So those are being rerouted to Air India. Similarly, for the 350, it's a 350 that will be 6350 that will come immediately. That was originally destined for Aeroflot of Russia.
mm,
So the Aeroflot couldn't take delivery because sanctions were put on Russia, where both
right.
Airbus and Boeing suspended delivery to
Mm,
Russia, both
mm,
be it
mm,
aircraft or spare parts. So Air India again became lucky. I
mm,
think it's a decade-long order, and all the aircraft will take at least 8 to 10 years to come by. So if Air India can get three things right: the induction of the aircraft on time, and the network planning correctly, and engineering and maintenance properly, then I think in the next 8 to 10 years we are going to see a very different Air India, and one that the country can symbolize with.